What's up, confessors? What it do? What it do? Here we are. It is Wednesday. It is February 21st, 2024. And here we are for another variety show. We are going to be covering Who the F Did I Marry? We're going to talk about Porscha and Simon, and we're going to talk about this Wendy Williams documentary coming up this weekend. And if we got time, because I'm not even sure I even want to discuss this, but this mama who's got her child waxing people, this is insane. And yes, she has been charged, I believe. So let's get into it. Let's start with who the F did I marry? Now, no one is thinking about anything else right now, but Reesa Teesa. Shout out to Reesa Teesa because this woman took the time to tell us the most personal, intimate story of her life and shared it with all of us. So Dina is supposed to be coming in. She just said she just got in the car. So I don't know how long it takes for her to get home, but if we're still on, when she gets home, she can come on and let us know how she feel about things. But first of all, you know that it is Wednesday, and that means it is the finale of the challenge tonight. Also, Feud season 2, Capote versus the Swans is on tonight, and Real Housewives of Beverly Hills is on tonight. Those are the three things that I watch on Wednesday, so I just want to put that out there. It's about to be a good one, and we'll be talking about we were doing Feud tomorrow with Capote versus the Swans. We are dedicating just a whole entire thing to Feud. Okay, so that's tomorrow. Starting Thursday nights, we will be doing that. So yeah, Teesa, thank you for being our entertainment for the past week. Everybody cannot get enough of this. Dina had sent me some cliff notes of everything that has went on. Oh, Dina's coming in, but she joining us from the car. Hey, boo, hey.
Hey, how's it
It
going?
is going. It is going. I am glad to be
What
off
I
work.
missed so far?
Say what?
No, I just said what I said what I missed so far.
You ain't missed nothing. I was just informing them on what's on tonight, the shows that I watch, and we'll be doing Feud tomorrow. Solely Feud. Only thing I've said so far is gave Reesa Teesa a shout out for letting us into her life through this most personal and intimate story that she has told billions of strangers, and we are just captivated by it for entertainment. Even though it's our entertainment, this is this woman's life. She did live this. So I want to try to be respectful talking about this and telling the story because it's already been against her wishes that um Legion has been brought out and resurfaced and found out, and everyone's found him and has showed his face. And so now Legion himself has gone on live, answer questions. We've had the other ex-wife Latoya come on. We've had her son on TikTok just going live. Like everyone is doing this. And even other women who have had a moment in time with Legion is coming out talking about how they crossed paths with him and what it was like for them. So he has done this his entire adult life, it
Well,
seems
here's
like.
well, here's the crazy thing. Now, granted, she didn't say this man's name, right? But it ain't that difficult to find out people's information. And the number of people's lives that he touched, somebody was bound to connect the dots. Now, it did so happen to be like a YouTuber that connected the dots, but as many people as watched this in Atlanta, whether it was her co-workers, family members sharing it or whatever.
Right.
When it's something that got to do with like Atlanta, people gonna be talking about it, and somebody gonna be like, and then she said key cities like Augusta or whatever, right? Augusta ain't but that big, okay? So people in Augusta is talking, and somebody was going, I think for real, even if the YouTuber hadn't outed Legion's face and information or whatever, people that know him would have been on his Facebook page like, dude, we know this is you. Or which you see, there was some screenshots of people, making comments on his page, his brother's page. And these are people that aren't YouTubers. And then I still think without the YouTuber naming him, that, or the TikTok person, whoever spent 87 hours to connect the dots, um, the stepson, would have came out and said something. So you
Yeah,
cannot
that
tell
was
in 50, you cannot have 52 episodes and another 13 episodes of a Q&A live and think that nobody's going to figure out who this man is, or that the man himself isn't going to hear about it and out himself
right.
and say, hey, that ain't how it went down.
True. And then
That's all I'm saying. That level of expectation is unrealistic.
it is. And yeah, and in a lot of ways, and she admitted herself that she has been very naive, and the red flags were there. There are a parade of them. She says, and she still,
Hmm.
I mean, I don't know what possesses a person to still go forward, even though you see the red flags. And when I say that myself, because even I have still gone forward seeing the red flags, and that's where we fuck ourselves up. I feel
Right.
that's the point of the woman's intuition that God and the ancestors gave us. I feel like, by us not going with it and then later noticing it afterward, that's kind of like, I guess our punishment for how we feel. What's up, Philip? Oh, excuse me. What? What? Where
Well,
are
here's the thing too, because even the first ex-wife, right, when she did her thing, she said that she was mentally broken to the point where, because he was a provider, even the stepson said, hey, the man always kept a job, he did pay the bills, so he and his mama overlooked a lot of things, like, oh well, he lied a little bit, but the bills is paid, ain't nothing getting cut off. Reesa Teesa said the same thing. He did pay all the bills in the home. But to me, because of you add in the other things that he was doing, for me, that seems like a level of, of manipulation.
Oh,
Like,
definitely.
um, because we all
Definitely
know if he was broke,
wrong.
if he wasn't paying not near bill and did the same thing, he would not have lasted this long. You know what I'm saying? But
Exactly.
the things that the both the ladies were saying was, Reesa Teesa was like, I thought it was my turn. He was, taking me out to eat, and he was doing it big for my birthday. He was paying all the bills. The lifestyle that, the lie he was living was the lifestyle he was trying to get to, made sense to the lies he was telling until shit started falling through. And just like the first ex-wife said, well, yeah, I was mentally broken. I was in a place where this what he was offering was better than what I ever had before, which is sad to be in that kind of state, to where, yeah, he was paying the bills, but he lied like a rug. He got diabetes.
Yeah. I mean, that's a big thing to women. One of the big, and especially black women, the biggest thing that we have always made a thing about, or an argument about, what have you, is that we have always had to carry the burden. And by that, the
Mhm.
burden of everything, including the financial burden. And as a single
Mhm.
mom, especially, that's all we do is have to carry that financial burden. And there's so many single
Mhm.
moms out there. And so the fact that, yeah, that is a prize to a lot of women because like she said, to not have to worry about finances, what the
Mhm.
hell?
Yeah.
That's like winning the lottery.
Right, and we're not even talking about like, hey, I'm not talking about being financially secure where we're taking the yacht out, in summer and in the Hamptons. I could care less about that. The fact that I can take my check and pay my car note, my insurance, and my cell phone bill, and I can go get all the weaves and wigs I want, and the shoes and bags I want, or I could take myself to a spa day and not have to worry about the electric or the gas, or it's robbing Peter to pay Paul, just so I can have a moment of peace, is a beautiful thing. And
Yes.
most women, yellow, black, green, or other whatever color, would love to just be financially secure. You know what I'm saying? Now there's wealthy, there's rich, there's legacy money and stuff like that. But just to be able to live a comfortable life. I always said I just want to be happy and comfortable. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Where I can be like, oh, I ain't gotta. I had to go buy windshield wipers today, but I ain't gotta cry about it. You know what I'm saying?
You
I
know?
gotta spend $80 on some windshield wipers. Now I gotta take $80 from the electric bill.
Exactly. You don't even have to do all that. So
To be able to go in and have that comfortable. So it makes sense that what some people would call the bare minimum is above board than most women experience. So when you have experienced some of the triflingness out in the world,
and there is
and
a lot.
there is a lot, and then somebody comes along and you got this freedom, this weight, this burden lifted off of you, you do tend to look the opposite way on some small things. But at the same time, there's that snowball effect where, oh, I got away with this lie, let me tell a bigger lie, now I got to tell a bigger lie to cover up the other two lies, and then I
Yep.
got to do this and do that, because you know minus you paying the bills or what you bringing to the table, you're not a good individual. So you have to get like the love bombing. You have to get them emotionally invested in you. That's why a lot of men out here, and this, I mean, I'm using this example of men. Don't get me wrong, I'm not being biased. Women do a lot of trickery too. Okay, we know a bunch of women that then got NBA pregnant by NBA players to get a check. And hell, there's a 40-year-old housekeeper in Las Vegas that took a billionaire's used condom out of the trash and got herself pregnant and sued him for child support and won. Okay, so I ain't saying that women ain't out here trifling. What I'm saying is there's a lot of men out here that get women to be financially dependent on them, physically dependent on them, pop them with a child or whatever, because they got to do something to you so that um in the manipulative form, so that when they representative come out, or you start to see that they are a liar, now you're so emotionally invested, you're married to them, you got
Mm.
kids by them, y'all got houses and cars and businesses together, so you can't just pack up your shit and leave like, oh, this line mf'er, you know what I'm saying, I'm out this nasty thing, you know what I'm saying, but you got so much crap that you're connected to them with, that
No one wants. Where'd she go? Why do I hear myself like that? Okay, now I don't. Okay, Dina don't mute herself. I don't know what she do. But okay, so I'm gonna start off with the. So let's just go through some of the cliff notes because Dina sent me the cliff notes. So they met. She met him in March 2020, 2 weeks before shutdown. Met online, talked a bit, decided to go out. She had a blowout on the way to her first date with him. He met her, helped her with the tire, paid for everything. Still, and see, he started off from the get go, paying for everything. You see what I'm saying? So that must always have been his MO too. You like he didn't pay for that. A lot of niggas would be like, hold on, I don't know this bitch. Like, hold on, she can buy her own tire. I'll come to it like she gonna have to cash at me or something back or something, or something gonna have to go down if I'm about to do all of this. You know what I'm saying? And he did that shit no problem. Like he was willing and wanting, and that was a turn on to her right then and there. Cause I was like, because before she even finished the story, I was like, well, did they still go out afterward? Yes, they did. He bought her tire and still took the bitch to eat. I'm like, okay, he did a good one. So he had points from the get go. You know, he had points before the date even started, and you know, and that don't happen. So he was already the head ahead of the game. Shoot, who knows? He might have did something to make her tired. No, let me stop. But you never know. You never know. I mean, look at this man. Now, I really would love for her to produce a picture of him when she met him. I really, 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 really want to know what he looked like when she met him. Specifically, how did he come looking on the date? You know, how did you come looking on the date? Because you was already fucked up and not doing good before you even met Reesa.
Well,
So
she said that he was fly. He had nice clothes, all these Invicta watches, but like I was saying, um, you know, it's a lot to take in when, just like you said, the man, he came and rescued her. Okay, we out here, we go with our damsel in distress Disney fantasy. He
right.
changed the tire, took her to around the corner to a tire place, bought her a tire, took her on a date, paid for the date. They talked for hours. He ain't try to sleep with her. You know what I'm saying? Like,
I mean, he knew. Come on, that's the bare minimum. He knows better. That's the thing. By this time, he has mastered. He probably got a blueprint somewhere. I'm sure. I'm surprised she didn't find that in the backpack. Where did it go? There she go. I'm surprised he didn't have that in the backpack. A blueprint to all of this shit that he did. But I'm sure somewhere, maybe he remembered it by now. He had an answer for every single thing that she questioned him on.
right.
And he then, like she said, didn't skip a beat. Didn't skip
Mm-mm.
a beat.
But
Not one
here's
beat.
the thing: when you lie so much, you begin to believe your own lies. Okay, so, and here's the thing: this is his third wife.
Yes.
Okay, so the first wife he did this to with the stepson. We
Mm-hmm.
haven't heard from the second wife that she talked to, right?
Right.
And she's gone on with her life. So the
Mm-hmm.
first wife, the second wife, now her. So clearly, between the first two wives, he's sharpening his skills. And we all know, like, I can tell you from prime
Not to
example.
mention the girlfriends in between. So he
Right.
really
Right,
had time.
that said, no, something ain't right. And then he goes to the next one, he gets better. He goes to the next one, he gets better. He gets better. Because we all know, when I had my 14 years alive, that man had 10 women on the roster that he was giving the same story to, all the while he was married to somebody for citizen to get them some citizenship. So you see what I'm saying? Like, once, oh, okay, this lie don't work over here, but this lie is working. So this is the lie I'm gonna go with. And this is the lie I'm gonna go with because it's working.
Yeah, of course. If it ain't broke, don't fix it. Shoot, you finally found something that worked for you. Why change the formula? The formula works. You won. You got it. The recipe is there. So just keep following it and just making it better as time goes on. And that is what he did. This man had a lot of time on his hands. He had nothing else better to do with his time but learn how to get over on somebody. But I'm wondering, like, what made you think arena football was the way to go? Like, where did that even come from? I like arena football
Well, here's
out of
the
all
thing.
things.
The stepson, I believe, said that when at the time he was trying to tell them that he used to play for the NFL and that he thinks he switched to the arena football because it's easier to disguise. You know what I'm saying?
Mm.
Because I know I love me some NFL. So you can go on NFL.com right now and search any NFL player, whether it's,
Ah.
and whether it was 1952, 62, 82, 72, or whatever. So you can't say now. The only thing you can't say, maybe you was on the practice squad. I don't think they document the practice squad.
Mm-hmm.
But if you was ever in the league and you made the 53-man cut and was on a roster, your name is listed in a document where you can Google it. So he probably went to arena football because before they start having like championships and all that, I don't think arena football rosters was, documented as such.
Mm-hmm. Well,
So
I
it's
sure
probably
hope
one
they
of
make
them
sure they
things
secure
like
it now.
where can I say I did X, Y, and Z where it's not very searchable? And that's just over the years refining your lie.
I mean, but still, football, any type of football, if it ain't tag football, is a stretch if you saying anything about it as a career and making money out of it. I'm sorry.
Well,
And
I
like
mean,
I said, I need to see what did he look like when she met him. Because looking at him in this picture here, this one here, this one here, he don't look like no
well, now
football
hold on now.
anything
Listen now.
or BP.
Well,
So
he
I need
definitely don't look
to
like no BP. But I will say on the football aspect of him, he now if he'd have said she never did say what his position was. Because let me tell you this. If he'd have said he was a wide receiver or a running back, I'd have been like, hell motherfucking no. But if he'd have said if he was on the O line or the defensive line, them big numbers 99, 89, the one that take up the whole screens, I'd have believed it.
yes. Yeah, okay. Yep. Yep.
Because she did say when she met him, he was like 6'3", 6'4". I think she said 315 or something like that.
All she kept saying was I remember and she kept comparing him. He was
She
a
said he was a
3X.
3X. She said
Yeah.
he was a 3X. So
But if
my
he that
daddy is
tall at a 3X,
yeah,
yeah,
so
that's
my
a
daddy is 6'4", and he's probably a cool 200 or something now, and he might be in a large or a 1X. So right around that, maybe like 250, 275, depending on
yeah.
where the weight really was. You know what I'm saying? 3X
Mm-hmm.
or whatever. But what I'm saying is like, okay, so the first wife was 10 years ago,
Yeah.
right? And then they got married in 2020. He had
Mm-hmm.
just barely divorced the second wife,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
So we're talking as a span of 10 years. So we don't know how much time I don't know his age. I don't know how much time he was lying before he got with the first wife. But then all the lies there. So
Well, he
let's
was
just
lying since he was a kid, let his family tell.
right. So what I'm saying to this extent though. So you take into consideration for 10 years, he has been refining his lies.
Yes.
What's going to work? What do I say to a person? It's what I said before. It's a relationship Ponzi scheme.
Well,
You
apparently
can't
he
get
never
this
got far.
lifestyle. But see, here's the thing: you can't get this lifestyle you trying to portray on your own. And I don't know if you thought that you was gonna get with a woman, because the other person we talked about, the Mr. Thing, he got with women that had their own lifestyle going on, so he could latch on to it and then claim, like, on the gram that this was his rap lifestyle. But this man, I don't know if he thought somebody was gonna be like, well, damn it, I want the house bad enough, and I got the credit enough so I'm gonna get this house on my own. You just a tenant at this point. You know what I'm saying? Or I get the house in my name, you pay the mortgage or whatever. I don't know. I don't know what he thought, how he was gonna get these things, because clearly over the years he never accumulated these things he kept promising people. So it's just a whole hot mess. But he's a predator, in so to speak. You are preying on a woman with low self-esteem, that's naive or green, as they say in the streets. Because just because you didn't lay down a couple times, like I had never experienced. I didn't been around the world and back again, and I had never experienced somebody that lied like that. You know what I'm saying? So when you come, people be like, "Oh my God!" If you have trust in people and take people really for at their word, and you're a trusting person, why would you think somebody would really go and waste people's time at a car dealership for days upon days and not be ready to purchase
spending
a car?
whole weekends just
Going and
cars
spending, and they didn't see
houses.
25 houses. They didn't been to 25 houses, and you ain't got no money to buy this house. Like, you would not really believe that somebody would do that.
I mean, and you have to remember, it's just like at this point where they're looking at houses, this woman just met this man. You looking at houses with this man when you should be just meeting his friends. You know what I'm saying? But
and that's what they do. They escalate the process. And that's what I was saying. I think they escalate the process. They get you to be dependent on them. Some of the brokest niggas on earth got these women mentally dependent on them. That's my rock. That's my shoulder to cry on. He watching the kids. He taking care of me when I'm sick. He can go to me to all my doctor appointments. This is beyond what. Okay, he ain't got no job. He ain't got no job. That's why he got all the time to do all the shit that you need to do.
Exactly.
You know what I'm saying? Yes. But now you're so dependent on him. If you leave him, you got you a nice job. Who picking the kids up? Who taking them to daycare? Who picking them up from school? Who taking them to cheer practice? You are dependent on a low life.
That's how
and they know this. This is when I lived in Texas, we used to call them maids. That's what we used to call them in Texas. A maid. We called niggas maids. Niggas that didn't have no job, that was doing anything to have a place to stay. You know what I'm saying? And they would. I mean, they was good men.
We call them house niggas over here.
Or how Stacey B say, a Jenny woman. But yeah, the dude that was always picking up your kids, always in the kitchen cooking. You know what I'm saying? He was gonna make sure that you got plenty of sleep so you could get to your job. You know what I'm saying? The kids acting up at school, baby, you ain't got to leave your job. I go handle it. You know what I'm saying? That type of deal. And then you become dependent on that. And then when he do some out of line shit, now you like, damn, I'm about to have to fuck my job off to go get the kids. I got to find daycare and pay for it. You know what I'm saying? Like there are men out there that are very calculated. And like I said, women do it too. We just happen to be talking about the men today. Yeah. But yeah, there are men out there that are very calculated, that insert themselves in positions, and even the financial ones, they ain't shit. They ain't shit. Whether they got
a couple hundred sometimes.
Whether they be a thousandaire, a millionaire, or a billionaire, some of them ain't shit. But now you're financially dependent on them.
Yeah. They know what they're doing. I mean, come on. It's the oldest trick in the book. Some of these men grow up learning these things from their daddies, their uncles, their older cousins, whatever. Period. So they learn this stuff growing up. So it's no thing. It's just that will they put that shit in motion? Well, basically, will they ever find the type of woman where they can put this in motion? Because like Reesa said, if she has herself to blame as well, because if she wasn't there with the gate wide open, he wouldn't have been able to walk through that bitch with a band in hand. You know what I'm
And
saying?
like she said, she thought it was her turn. And like a lot of times when, okay, for example, you go over, let's say over a span of 5 years, you go through some bad relationships, right?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, boom. You take a year or two hiatus, right? And you say, okay, I'm gonna go back out there and I'm gonna start dating. You
Yep.
meet this guy, he opening in car doors, he saving you from the side of the road with your tire. He, y'all sit on the phone, y'all talk, blah blah blah, whatever. He's so amazing. He's refreshing to anything you dealt with in the past. Then boom, the quarantine comes. Y'all can't be out and about like that. So y'all got to make a decision. Okay, boom, y'all quarantining together. Clearly they was laying up a lot because it didn't take up but 2 seconds to get pregnant. Okay. And so now you pregnant, but you really like this guy. You hadn't caught him in a lie yet. Everything is going
But
great.
here's the
Well,
thing
now
though, Gina, she should have. Because remember, before they had the quarantine, she had been to his little studio apartment. And that's how she decided to make the decision to quarantine at her shit because he saw how he
right.
was living.
The
So, honey,
because
if you see him living like this, how you think he able to
but
just
it made
out?
sense. But it made sense. Listen to me how it made sense. In his lie, he said that he was transferred from California to Atlanta as a regional
Yeah.
for this position.
Mm-hmm.
Now, I will tell you that I've not been transferred, but I have relocated. I work in a hotel, so most of the time I'm in a hotel, but there is such thing as like corporate housing, studio housing, or whatever, where they put you up in like a bare minimum place until you can secure either a long-term lease. So
Mm-hmm.
it's like a transition because you don't want to sign a year lease and realize that they shooting in the parking lot, every
Yeah.
Saturday night.
Yeah.
They give you a time, like a month or two, to get acclimated to the area, and then because even if you found the house before you got there, you got to come and do the paperwork, and it take what 30-60 days to close and all that other shit, right? So that part made sense with his lie of, while I'm living in the studio, I just got here, I don't really know my way around, which is what he told her, right? And then remember, she said they would be going back ways and this, that, and the third. And she'd be like, how you know your way around? Oh, I used to come visit my sister here, knowing damn good well he been there. No, she
Yeah.
didn't give birth. She ended up baby. Um,
She
so
ended
so
up
you see what
having a
I'm saying?
process where she wasn't feeling good, and so she went to the hospital, and she wasn't able to keep the baby. So then she had a decision that she had to make. She had to either decide to let it just pass naturally or take the pill. She decided to take the pill to speed up the process. However that works, to taking the pill. So she took the pill. So no, she never had the baby. She never gave birth, and that was the blessing in disguise.
Right. And so like all this is making sense, right? So then it's like, okay, well, you could just chill with me till you find a house. Then she gets pregnant. So now it's not him just looking for a house for himself, it's looking for a house for them, right? So
Mm-hmm.
then it's kind of like, oh, okay. So after all these months now of looking for, he had to do something big because he was failing her on the houses. He was failing her on the cars. She ended up having to getting a Nissan that he had to help her pay. So he had to do his big one. You know
Mm.
how we be talking about baddies gonna get up there and do your big one? He had to do his big one. So
Right.
he
If that's what
had
you
to do
want.
this half-ass raggedy proposal with his $34.99 ring from Amazon. which is really trifling that he would take her to a jewelry store, have her pick out a ring, probably took a picture of it, Google reverse searched it, and found it for cheap on $34.99 because she honestly believed that it was the ring from the jewelry store. Like he was going deep with the lies. You have this.
I need to know where the otherwise rings fake.
Yeah, because she said
it had to be.
But when I tell you this man was going to the depths of hell with his lies. He was taking her by the jobs and calling fake people like they was security and he couldn't get in the building because it was the weekend. Like, I'm gonna attempt to prove to you I'm not lying, but so-and-so ain't here, but I'm caught. You know what I'm saying? He went to the depths of hell to prove that his lies were true. And it was trash. And I'm telling you, there are hundreds of thousands of men probably sitting in a call center in Nigeria because they keep arresting people on love scams. They keep arresting people on
every day. Every day.
Matter of fact, there was a man. I think he scammed these people for like 30 women. He scammed them out of $1.7 million.
What?
Yep, I had posted it one day. I think I said
business.
Yeah, and this man, he was telling all these women he was in love with them, old, young, and indifferent. And then he falling on hard times. He need $20 here, $50 there, $1,000 there. You know what I'm saying? Whatever, and scammed 30 women out of a total of $1.7 or $1.8 million.
The Nigerian swindler.
They took his ass to jail though.
That's a Nigerian swindler right there. You know.
Yeah, and it happens all the time.
That happen. So yes, let's talk about the family. Like, who goes through this much and lies about the family? So he lied about his father having 2 children out of their mind.
Outside kids.
Yes. So, and then the two sisters. One, Shantae don't even exist. Shantae ain't even real. And Kim is his niece or cousin. And it's like, what was the point his cousin? Of that?
And the auntie wasn't even the auntie. The auntie was the mama's best friend when she lived in Augusta.
Well, they had one. There was another one though. Well, no, because she couldn't even confirm what the other one, the other aunt was that she don't even know who the other aunt was that he was talking to when he told her I ain't did nothing, and that's when she blacked out.
That was the actual aunt in Philly. That's the one who sent. Remember, because she kept saying, "I'll send you money."
Oh yeah,
and the whole time, remember when she was telling the story? Why are you sending him money? And there's the U.S. bank account, there's the Chase account, there's the offshore account. Why are people saying I'm gonna send you money and you ain't and you paying all the bills here and you ain't supposed to be broke?
Right. Yeah, that's the whole thing. But I'm just saying back to the family though. Okay. You sat there and talked on the phone to nobody all of these times? Like, what, nobody on that other line? Was the phone even on? Was the power even on? Like, dude.
Because I'm like, how you talking on the phone to somebody not knowing if your phone gonna ring or not?
Well, yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like, who, how, what? That phone couldn't have even been on.
When I tell you that this man is definitely mentally disturbed. And she said that he didn't drink or do no drugs, so he's got to be disturbed, because I could understand if he was popping X all the time or he was dipping his weed in some formaldehyde or horse tranquilizer or whatever. But this man is very mentally disturbed. You have the deep lying to since you was a child, okay, that has only escalated into you involving masses of people into your life, car dealership, real estate agent, the people you calling at the job that's non-existent, all this other stuff. You got fake family members. You faked as you like you was your own assistant because you was a forklift driver, and I don't know near forklift driver that got an assistant.
Please. Like, what type of
So I mean, you was faking this because we know you wasn't you was never a regional. You didn't get promoted to VP. You don't have no assistant. So you got your little white lie, and then you got this big circle of lies that this man is telling. Okay, and you've been honing your skills for the past 10 years. So like we was saying, like I was saying earlier, I honestly believe, like, I know she's mad that people outed him, but I honestly believe that at some point, even if the YouTubers wouldn't have found him, somebody would have connected the dots.
Come on, of course, absolutely, and that's
Because you can see the stepson couldn't wait
Woo.
to get on there and be like, "This girl not lying. This girl is not lying. This is how he did my mama." The parts that I know about, the fact that he took the stepson to the car dealership and was sitting him in a ride and posting on Facebook that they just bought a new ride and they ain't bought shit. They just went up there and sat in the car and took pictures.
Now, what was crazy to me about the story from the stepson is the story he told how they squared up with each other and he ended up going to jail. But Legion had to end up posting his bail at the end of it all. Like, that's
right, because you know the stepson's mama said you was out of line. My son was protecting me, and he don't need to be in jail. So you take your bitch ass down there and go bail my son out.
Right? Get my son out or you out. And I still would have kicked my son out. I mean, kicked him out as soon as he got my son out.
Mm-hmm.
What the hell? At that point, you know what I'm saying?
Man, let me tell you something. My kids don't play about me. I popped this dude upside the head one time. That slap was so loud. It rang through the house. It was so loud. My son wasn't but 16 years old. He come busting in the room like he was finna put it down. And the dude was like, "She hit me." My kids don't play about me, and my Jesus don't play about me. Okay,
you know, as it should be, as it should be.
You know what I'm saying? Try Jesus, don't try me, honey, because I ain't the one to be played with.
So okay, so let's describe something else that he lied about. I'm trying to see
what didn't he lie about?
Yeah, so the offshore accounts. First of all, that's a red flag right there. An offshore account, like, who the fuck are you unless you a terrorist or the president or something that you got an offshore account? Who got offshore accounts unless you
now here's the thing. It goes along with the lie, because if you ever watched the movie The Firm with Tom Cruise, you know what I'm saying? Lawyers, doctors, people who was, getting illicit payments or didn't want to pay taxes on bonuses or whatever would put money in offshore accounts. So he's taken from what he's seen from TV, movies, or books or whatever. This motherfucker got one hell of an imagination and put this all together like, oh, if I'm a regional or I'm a VP, I need to have multiple bank accounts and an offshore account because I heard that on such and such and such. And it sounds like, and then you have the nerve to use Google Photos to show somebody how much money you got in your bank account.
Yeah. And it's crazy because I ain't gonna lie. I believe I was sent a picture of something a dude had sent me, and the first thing I did was Google search that shit. I think I had just watched an episode of Catfish at that, so that's why it was on my mind because I used to do stuff like that. But shout out to Catfish. But he sent me that, and I Googled it, and I'm like, I think I found a picture that I think he just photoshopped a Google search picture. I was like, that's that. I know it is. But it's so easy. Like, everything you want to do now is just Google search it first. I need to learn how to put reverse image Google thing in and how to work that like they do on Catfish too. Because you just don't know now. Because all of these men are watching this right now, probably thinking, I wonder how much I can get away with. And I'm just not that. That's why I'm glad I'm single still. So after all of the cars that he had her test drive and everything, Um, he convinced her to buy an Audi 8 and said it'll be delivered and had her take off work, and it never came. Like,
Mm-hmm.
come on! You got this woman taking off work thinking a car is about to be delivered to you, to her, and it ain't even coming. Where was he at? Was he parked around the corner, or did he have a video in the a camera in the house? Because the only way you do this is so you can get off seeing her reaction of it never happening. He did that to her with London and Paris. Shout out, because she Teesa had recently posted a video on TikTok saying that she is officially going to Paris and London, y'all.
Mm-hmm.
She is going. She is on her way, and she is taking us with her. She promised. She promised. So I hope that BMW Huey with the cognac interior is on
Mm-hmm.
her way still. She still got to get that. So what else? Fast forward, his grandma passed away. And he was saying sad things started changing. By now, she was kind of over the relationship because nothing had changed, and every time they were to do something, they never could or did because he always had an excuse. Of course, he took her to. Oh, okay. I said my bad. I'm going back. Okay, we read that part. He left work every day. He left. I need to know this. Where was he actually going when he left for work every day?
He was going to work every day, but he was a forklift driver, not a VP. He was leaving the house at 6:15 every day, and he was coming home between 3:30 and 4 o'clock every day, like clockwork. And he was a forklift operator, driver,
Now,
whatever,
here's what I want to
warehouse
know.
assistant.
Especially Black people, we always coming home telling stories to our partners, loved ones, family members, whoever we living with, about some shit that popped off at work.
Right.
He never, he
And
never
she
came home and
said
shared any of
that
that type of
she would
stuff.
well, hold on, let me get this right. She said he would call her daily while he was at work, and she would hear people talking in the background, and he would be pretending like he was reprimanding people and asking for reports and this, that, and the third.
Right.
No,
All
he
he
told
did
way
was
more
tell a few
than a
lies.
few
What you mean
lies.
a few lies? These were the lies of the lies. What you mean a few lies? They was like little white lies, like, yeah, that wasn't me who put the gum on the back of the armrest in the elevator or something like that. Now, that's a few lies. All of it was a lie. It was one big lie. It was 4, 500, 600, 800, 900,000 lies. All he did was lie. Nothing was the truth except the fact that what was the truth? What was true? The aunt was real. I mean, he didn't even tell her he had a twin. Like, who do that? You didn't even say you had a twin, yo. When you slightly over here taking his identity little by little. She said that he never wanted to, but it looked like he was trying to. And I feel that if he never got caught up to this point, he may have tried to at some point, I feel. I really, really do. At least she didn't get dirty. Ooh, child. Let us talk about it. Dirty John, don't even take me there. Now that should have been
Mhm.
that should have been something we should have talked about that show when that came out. But yes, Dirty John is he probably learned a little bit from Dirty John, to be honest. But he just couldn't do it quite like Dirty John because he was just dirty. That was the only thing about Legion. Legion was just dirty. Not a Dirty John, but just dirty. That's it. Nothing else. So what else happened? Let's go to the cliff notes. Um Yeah, he talked about how he lost his grandmother to COVID and his uncle. Both the grandmother and the uncle had been long gone, a long time ago in 2008, 9, and 10. So he was having conversations with dead people because remember, he said that it was his uncle who told him that he should never show his bank account to anybody. And that's why he never showed his bank account to Teesa, the offshore account or the Chase account. So he never showed any of it. So at that point, he felt that, okay, I can just keep this going. Using dead people is just an all new low, I feel. And I bet they are haunting him at this point. Because, dude, you did a big one with that one.
I mean, man, it like it'd be different if he was like, if he just would have said, like, say he was making really good money. If he would have just said he was the regional or the VP or whatever, but he was a forklift driver and never lied ever again, nobody would be sitting here. But the extreme measures that he went to for these extreme lies, and at some point, don't get me wrong, I do sympathize with the girl, but at some point, is you him and you pregnant? And she put the screenshots of these houses they were looking at. And one particular house was like 6 or 7 bedrooms and 5 bathrooms. It's just you and him. Why do you need that big of a house? Like when she was talking about these houses, I'm thinking we finna be talking about some $200,000, $300,000 houses. Now, don't get me wrong. I know there are parts of Atlanta that's expensive, but there are still nice parts where you can get decent homes up in like Norcross, Duluth, Louisville, blah, 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 whatever. So when you start showing me $699,000 houses, $722,000 houses, and $750,000 houses because you got this Chase approval letter that we later find out was fake. Girl, I make good money. I don't need no $700,000 house. My daddy owned half the town he live in. They got them a 3-bedroom house. It cost well under that. They have upgraded it. The area they live in, a house down the street just sold for 3 times what they paid for their house, newly remodeled. So whenever they get ready to leave that house with all the renovations and extras and shits that they didn't put into this house, it'll probably be 4 times worth what they paid for it. That's how you supposed to do that shit. I'm just flabbergasted that you thought this dusty ass nigga was going to give you a $750,000 house.
Did she pay him?
No.
What? No,
he paid all the bills. She let it be known. And even the stepson said he always keep a job and he always pay all the bills, which is why him and his mama was overlooked. They was laughing at his ass behind his back until it got, when it started to get physical with the mama and physical with the son. But yeah, and even the sister was in the live talking about he abused her. And he said, I ain't going to speak on her story. She going to have to come up here and tell her own story. So it got to the point where paying the bills didn't cover the abuse and the lies. But they was laughing at a nigga behind his back for a long, long time. But she said that he paid all the bills except for her car payment, insurance, and her cell phone bill.
Yeah, she paid all her personal bills that were just hers, but he took care of everything in the house and everything.
When he convinced her to eventually get the Nissan, she did say he helped her pay the car payment on it, and that when they got broke up or whatever and divorced, she sold the Nissan because she couldn't afford it without him.
So I wanted to talk about the pastor and the wife in the counseling. So this is what messed me all up. So they So they go. She goes to the pastor and the wife, and they're talking. So they're going to marriage counseling. Now they never got the pre-marriage counseling. So let's put that out there. So when they finally do go to counseling as already married couples, they go to the pastor and his wife. Pastor was flat out like, had y'all came to us before, we would have told you no.
And the wife was right. Because she said, y'all ain't going to make it a year.
Y'all ain't. She sure was right. Yes.
And I'm sitting up here like, I mean.
How did she not know?
Here's the thing. Not that I'm giving anybody a pass. Because, you know, you might want to spice some things up. And if you a real human being, you can honestly say, regardless of how love you is with the person that you with, you have fantasized about somebody else while y'all was getting y'all bedroom boom boom on, okay? Whether it was your favorite celebrity, old boo, or somebody you saw, you know, what's his name, Justin Slayer or Mr. Marcus or whoever, somebody you didn't. Oh yeah, that got me there. Okay, anywho, but y'all a year in, I mean, not even a year, y'all a few months into marriage, and he's sexting on Facebook.
Yeah.
You ain't 10, 20, 30. This boy ain't even had enough time to get bored with the cooter yet.
And that's just what she caught. Who knows what was really going on?
Right. You know what I'm saying? That's just what she saw. Then after they do the counseling, the day she put him out on his birthday, he was actually, how you in bed for all these months with your knee, but you got time to get up out of bed to go see a prostitute and pay for it. But my question is, you can get up out the bed to go see a prostitute, but you can't get up out the bed to go to what?
To go piss? This dude had Gatorade bottles full of urine.
You know what? I just gonna have to start drinking out the bottle.
This man had Gatorade bottles full of urine. Full of urine. She had no idea. Now I'm trying to figure out, there's no Gatorade. I don't drink Gatorade, but from what I am privy to, there is no Gatorade that look like pee to me out there on the market.
Am I wrong? It looks like pee, but there is a yellow one. So, but here's the deal. He's sitting yellow. Yeah, it's yellow. If you look at the Gatorade flavors, there's a yellow.
No, and not Mountain Dew yellow, but apple juice yellow,
like orange juice, or kind of yellowish orange or whatever. I'm hold on.
Well, that don't seem. That's not pee. Yeah, pea's got to be more.
But here's the thing,
like the ginger ale.
Yeah, but
of burners. Oh God, that was gross.
But I'm just saying, like, he's sitting up there sucking these damn Gatorades down and then peeing in the bottle, but you can get him to go see a prostitute.
And how much did that prostitute charge for whatever service that she gave him?
Well, she told him two prices, one for a 60
without and one with. Yeah. 80. But you would have had to come off a little bit more, because I know when she put her face down there, it was the funk of 40,000 years more.
This is the Gatorade lemon lime.
Yeah, I guess that could, unless it was lemon lime flavor she was taking to him, that can't pass. It better have been lemon lime flavor. Now
she said she never went in the room. She knew nothing of these Gatorade bottles full of piss until she went to put him out.
See what I'm saying? That's why you got to check your house. You got to check
your house. Let me tell you something. When I lifted that bed for 14 years, a lot of trifling that bitch made it. Nigga, it was Oreo cookie wrappers, cleaning hangers, tissues. It was like the whole floor was clean around the bed. But when you lifted that bed up, it looked like rats had been living there. And we don't even want to talk about it.
Wait, under the bed?
Under the bed. Like there was ramen noodle bowls with forks stuck to them, and we don't even want to talk about the trunk of the car. 3, 4, 5 months later, I was still vacuuming rice and shit out the fucking trunk.
Literal shit or other
Rice, bitch, rice.
You said
And
rice
cheeses
and
and animal cracker crumbs, all in where the tire for the spare tire is. I had to take it to a professional detailer to really detangle or whatever. What I don't know what the word I'm looking for. Disassemble the trunk. Like take the spare tire out and take all that shit out the trunk, the jack and all that shit, and vacuum like with a high powered vacuum to get all the fucking crumbs and shit. It was shoes in there, books, nigga.
That is so nasty. So nasty. No, ma'am.
Right.
Okay, so he went to the extent of saying that the ex-wife daughter had passed away. He want to send money. He trying to do the most. What did he do with that money? Because he took that money for himself, but what did he do with it?
He never sent the money because it wasn't from their joint account. They just had an agreement that if anybody was going to spend over X amount of money, that they had to have a discussion about it. And so she don't know if he ever sent the money or spent the money or whatever because they did not have a joint account at the time.
Right. Okay. So he told her he was getting another job. So she told him that she was
a lie. That was him keeping up with the lie that somebody died. We should send some money. But he never got $1 from her for that money.
Right. So at this time, she is finally learning that, you know what, something ain't right with this man. He lied too much. He lied about everything. I feel like I have no control over this. So she said it was for a petty reason, but she said, she decided that she wanted to look for a better job. She wanted a job where she could afford that car that she never got on her own and be able to live the way she wanted to live. He laughed at her when she wanted to get the job and told him that she was going to do this. So that new job, they needed his social security and background and all of this stuff for her to get this job. And that's when things started getting in motion because she got a hold of that, social security and all of this wasn't right. It didn't match the first one. I didn't know I never knew, or maybe I did and forgot, but that the first 3 numbers of your social corresponds to the state you were born in. You know that. So yeah. So she knew, so at least she knew that to understand and figure everything out. But when she did, she got that and it just led her down the rabbit hole. And she found the name of the ex and an address and a number. Whoo, that's when it took off because she called the ex up. The ex told her some things. She didn't tell us everything that the ex said because she wanted to keep it confidential, and that's the ex's story to tell.
Right.
And all of that.
And I respected her for that because she did keep her word. She told what the ex said she could speak on, I guess, so to speak. But until this video came out, she never told him that she spoke with the ex.
Right. So he didn't know none of this. He didn't know basically anything that she knew. She didn't know about the conversations she had with the aunt, the brother from Philly, none of that. Like, he was not privy to any of this. She kept it all to herself. I didn't know either. Had to Google to make sure. Google what? What you talking about, Odie? And so when she did all that and had to and figured it all out, she called up the wife. The wife and her talked, exchanged stories, and I'm sure it was like just refreshing to her. Like, okay, it ain't just me. This man really is crazy. That would have been a shocker and a relief a big everything lifted off of my shoulders. Because can you just imagine? And that just goes to show this whole story, y'all, ladies especially, do not be a pick me. It do not pay to be desperate. You can do bad all by yourself because you never know what you
Mm-hmm.
gonna get. And this is you could find you a legion and be messed up, you know, because these women are traumatized. Reesa got PTSD from this man. Imagine having PTSD from a relationship like this. He said he never was physical with her, but imagine still having PTSD. And this man didn't even hit you. But I feel sometimes the mental and emotional abuse is worse than the physical. Cause yeah, it hurt, but it ain't gonna hurt forever. But that emotional and all of that mental, that's something different. So I'm just happy for her that she is finally going to Paris, London. She can get all the R&R she wants, and I hope she finds a bomb therapist. I hope a therapist, a black woman,
Mm-hmm.
reaches out to her and like, baby girl, come sit on my couch, come have a seat on my chair. Let's talk
Mm-hmm.
about it for real.
Right. There's going to be, I definitely believe that because your perception of reality is thrown off now. You know what I'm saying? Because like we all know that if y'all been following me in confessions from the put a ring on it debacle, I definitely before even put a ring on it even came out, I was already in therapy because your perception of reality is thrown off because now you realize the last 2 years of your life was all a lie. You
Mm-hmm.
know what I'm saying? Did this person ever give a fuck about you? Did they ever truly love you? Why would they do you like this? What kind of space was I in that I allowed this to happen? You're questioning yourself. And then for a person like me who's good natured and always want to give somebody my last to help them because I remember there was times when I didn't have no help. It changes you as an individual, which really sucks because there might be somebody out there you need to bless, but now you don't want to bless nobody because you've been, down this road or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm definitely thankful for therapy. I promote therapy
You know
all the
what?
time.
Even myself, I feel like nothing is wrong with me, but I still want to go to a therapist. Maybe me thinking nothing is wrong with me is what's wrong with me. And so I feel like
I feel you.
I strongly, huh?
I feel you on that. I
Yeah, it's like
just really
nothing's
feel
wrong with
bad
it.
for people who have been through these type of situations because she said in her when she did the Q&A live, if you was in her circle before Legion, then you good. But she not really trying to take on no new people. And
Mhm.
I 100% get that.
Right.
Like, even though I work with a great group of people and for years after that situation, I'm like, I'm not giving up that information because I don't want people to use it again. That much
Yeah.
information, I don't want people to use it against me. I'm going to work and I'm doing my job, and I don't want to make no new friends. You know what I'm saying? I don't. Other than our YouTube circle of mentees, I don't think that I've met a girlfriend out in the streets.
Right.
There is nobody in my circle from like 2019 on that hasn't been there before, you know, before the situation. Anybody new now is just through our mentee circle.
Mm-hmm. Yep. See, when stuff like happens like that, a life changing event such as that, absolutely you are going to feel a certain type of way toward people, especially new people coming into your life. And you just got to be
Mm-hmm.
careful. It's not that like that's just your thing, but it's just you have to. That's your defense mechanism of trying to fight against this shit that you be going through. So I totally get that. So she ended up discovering that he never resided in California. He lied about everything. He told her he went to college to play football and that he graduated, met his ex-wife, moved back, and where he resides now, trying to get his life together because he was cheating on him. Again, why do every man always want to say she cheated on him? It's just, my goodness, the MO never gives up.
And I wonder with the second wife, did he tell her that the first wife cheated on him and that's why he moved back? This was so
Recycling.
calculated and planned out that, okay, I don't have a lot of shit going on for me right now. So I'm gonna tell people I just moved here. And I wonder if he told the second wife the same thing. Because what you're doing is you're pulling on the heartstrings. Oh my God, I would never cheat on you, blah, blah, blah. This poor man's been cheated on, and he's such a good man. He's paying all the bills, and he goes to work faithfully every day and came home from work early, and he was cheated on. You're drawing sympathy and empathy from a person, and you're being cold, calculated, and manipulative. It's a sickness.
Yep. Exactly.
Then this nigga live in Delulu land for real, for real.
Exactly.
He got beachfront property in Delulu land.
Yeah. So he says, so then he said, because he cheated on him, he remained close with the kids. He addresses in Rhode Island, Philly, and Georgia. Found out he had been married before a previous ex-wife. It ended at the ex getting an order of protection because she beat him up, finding out he lied to her about everything. And both times they filed for divorce. Neither marriage lasted past 6 months. She found an address number on both recent ex and called her. That's what Reesa was talking about. Told her the lies about everything, and they put all of it together. So at this point, she found an obituary online that his grandma had passed away in 2008, and not 2020. During this time, his knee was giving him some trouble, so he couldn't really move around. And it wasn't until this man could barely move is that she was finally able to go and research and find out what was really going on. He had
because he was talking a good game. This is the thing. Like, he need to go sell real estate, cars, or luxury homes or something, because he got the gift of gab. And because he had the gift of gab, when he was down for the count, he wasn't talking as much. He wasn't filling her head. He didn't have a whole bunch of rebuttals to everything. So it's kind of like when you riding in your car and you got your music up loud, right? Mm-hmm. You don't hear all the knocking and the ticking and the this is that and the third. But when your radio go out and you ain't got no choice but to listen to your car on your little commute to work, now you hear everything. That's the best way I can analogy I could put on that. Mm-hmm. It's like there was quiet for her to actually formulate thoughts, to think through what he was saying, because at one point in time, he was all in her ear and it was sounding good. He had a quick response for everything. Now he just gave up hope on the lie. I'm married. She ain't going nowhere. I'm paying all the bills, and he might have got a little severance package when he got fired, or he was getting unemployment, so he's still paying the bills because she said nothing was fake pay, nothing got bounced, no, nothing got cut off.
That's what's up.
So
he didn't fake that part. That's the only thing.
So he thought that as long as I'm paying the bills, I'm keeping up the lie because I'm affording her this shit. Oh, hey, Mod.
Mod's in the building.
But yeah, it's a sick, twisted bullshit that this man would go through these extremes. But like I said, I've been down this road. I done seen letters from the IRS saying that, they this is that and the
nothing
third.
like a good letterhead.
But here's the thing with that, You really did. He really did owe the IRS $11,000. But he told me the IRS took the house, the car, the clothes, everything he had, and he still owed them $11,000 when he really just owed them $11,000 for not filing taxes. I'm just saying, motherfuckers will go to the ends of the earth with a lie. They will go to the grave with a lie, and a lie don't care who tell it as long as it gets told.
Hello. As long as somebody believe it, as long as it look good coming out and feel good sitting there in front of your face.
And these
That
are
is
what I
all that
call
is.
beautiful liars.
Hey, there's a
Beautiful
whole
liar.
song, Beyonce and Shakira, "Beautiful Liar." It does exist. It's like the worst thing, just a piece of shit, just packed in a beautiful package.
Tiffany box. You got a piece of shit packed in a Tiffany box.
There you go. There you go. Point A to point B. That's all it takes.
All tied up
But
with the beautiful bling bling bow.
But you gotta remember, love is definitely blind.
Mm-hmm.
And she definitely proved that also. Love is blind. Like, you just don't see shit, or you don't want to see it. You're so happy in this place that you wanted to be in for so long that you cannot see past any of it. And that is all you see. You see this man in front of you, and you see your bills being paid, and you finally feel happy.
And
who
you know
would
what?
want to let that go?
I truly believe, I had saw a meme somewhere where, they said when a relationship's over, you really don't miss the person, you miss the routine. When you're with someone for X amount of time, you start to get into a routine. You know what I'm saying? So you're in love with I'm waking up next to somebody. You're in love with either I'm waiting on them to come home or they're waiting on me to come home. You're in love with the Saturday afternoons, laying on the couch, watching TV, sharing your life hopes and dreams and this, that, and the third. And then in a blink of an eye, that is gone. So now what do you do with your time? You miss the time and the things that filled up your time when you were with that person, because you really don't miss the person because they did you dirty.
Right. Exactly.
So
you miss how they
and that's the fucked up part, for somebody to be so cold and calculated through over the years of the 2 marriages and whoever else he dated in between that didn't make it to marriage, or who knows how many other marriages might be out there. But that's the thing, for somebody to be that cold and calculated to know what buttons to push. It's like they got the cheat code. Like, women want to feel secure financially. I'm going to pay all the bills. Then I'm going to lie my ass off. But the bitch ain't going nowhere because I'm giving her something nobody ever gave her before. So it's like he's pushing the buttons until... Because just like she said, when she was like, why did you even marry me? And he was like, well, I knew you wasn't going to be my girlfriend for more than a year if I didn't marry you. Then you trying to lock in. He was, when she, like she said, when she told him she was pregnant, he was ecstatic, because you know what that meant? He had locked a bitch in.
Gotcha, bitch.
I got this. Gotcha, bitch. I got you for the next 18 plus years.
Gotcha.
You have to be in my life for the next 18 plus years.
That's all it took. And you see what I'm saying? It was so calculated from the very beginning. Remember, she is his third go around. He don't did this before. He don't been here before. He don't went back to the drawing board and came back twice.
I'm surprised that he didn't have a whole vision board in the studio saying, okay, I'm going to go get this type of woman. I'm going to tell her. Like, his lies were so planned out and so calculated, so manipulative. And then, like I said, it's working. The same thing everybody told me with Fuckboy, it's working. Why would he switch up his MO if it's working?
See, exactly. If it ain't broke, don't fix it. Why would you?
This is what they do. They target women who are natural nurturers, empaths, whatever, and they play on their heartstrings. And then once you fall in love with the potential of someone, you want to see it through. You don't want to you don't want to be a failure. You know what I'm saying? You
Mm-hmm.
don't want to. I've come this far. I'm gonna change him or her. I don't want to look like a failure. You know what I'm saying? All my friends are getting married. I want to be married too. All my friends are having babies. I want to be married too. I'm a 35, 40. I'm in my 30s, 35, 40 plus year old woman, and my clock is ticking. It's like all these pressures are not just black women, okay?
Right.
All women. All
Mm-hmm.
these pressures are put on women to, by a certain age, to be married, to have children, to have a successful career, to have this and to have that. And I tell everybody, look, life is everybody's life is like a bag of popcorn. Some gonna pop early, some gonna pop late. But eventually yours is shit's gonna pop and you just gotta wait. But when you force the pop, that's when you end up with niggas like Darian and Legion.
There you go. That's how it happens. That's why it says it does not pay to be a pick me girl. It doesn't pay to be desperate. Like this is what these are the category of men you will find yourself associated with if you are in that.
Right. And
I
here's
don't.
another thing you gotta be careful of. Now, some states is different. But if you got, if let's say I got a house, and this don't matter if it's man, woman, cousin, sister, auntie, uncle. If you in your house and you let somebody come live in your house like 30, 60, 90 days, and they start getting mail to your house, even if they ain't on the lease or the mortgage or nothing, you got to evict their ass.
Right. Goody
So
says
you
I don't
got to
want
be
anybody
careful.
paying my bills if
You
they
got to
want
be
to be in my
careful.
house for more than 4 days straight.
You see, and that's what made me think about that. You got to be careful who you let stay in your house, because if they stay in your house, like I said, it could be a man, your woman, sister,
Friend,
cousin, auntie, uncle,
anybody.
friend, whoever. They stay in your house over a certain amount of days based on your state or city, county, whatever laws. If you want them to go, you got to give them an eviction notice and may even have to go to court to evict them out of your house. And
Mm-hmm.
most what they call them, homosexuals who enter into a
Homosexual.
relationship so they got somewhere to stay, know this. So what they do, they love bomb you, they do everything right, they get in, and I swear to God, whatever your state cutoff is, that 30, 60, 90, 120 days, whatever the fuck it is, on that next day, that's when a representative disappear.
Boom. That's how it go. It's a but what killed me is I just wanted to show this because when everything started coming out, so apparently Legion thinks or calls himself a relationship coach expert, whatever, and he want to give advice and stuff. When all he really did was tell these men how to love bomb a bitch. That's all he did. He says, I don't know who moved her dude in. And she wanted to leave him, but he couldn't move. She left him there, but it was her sister. Ah, what? What type of
Right.
what?
And then just like Monique King said, he was probably setting up the paper trail to show that he paid the bills. And see, that's another
That would
thing.
be
When you try to get rid of somebody, you know what I'm saying? Now, most of the time, we could be like, hey, this is my house. I let them stay here. They don't do shit here. I need them to go. And you can get it, boom. But see, he got the paper trail. Whatever real bank account that he had that he was paying bills out of, not the fake ones he was showing her, he was going to
right.
go up in the court and be like, well, Your Honor, from March 2020 to June of 2021, I paid the rent, the gas, electric, the trash bill, bought groceries, and all that shit.
Oh, yes. Hey,
So
KK.
then they going to be like, well, ma'am, you probably the one need to leave.
Yeah, exactly. You gotta understand, man. It's hey, it be the whole bunch of different situations.
I had
You
a
never
dude try
know.
that on me one time.
You
Like
what?
it was his apartment in his name, but I was paying all the bills. And we had an altercation one night, and he called the police, and they let me stay and told him he need to leave because I start pulling out receipts. I pay all the bills in this bitch.
Right.
So that's exactly what he could have been doing.
Right. So then he found out he only had two brothers, and the oldest he claimed to talk to every day. They had beef. It hasn't spoken since 2015. So he was making up conversations every day like he was talking to somebody, and the other brother wasn't just his brother, but his twin. Not only did his twin, but his twin actually had a job as a VP. And that was the thing. When you finally find out that the twin actually had a job as the VP, I'm like, you know what? You stalking single black male, your own brother. Your own brother. It be your own people. It be your own people. That is nothing
wild. That is that was the part that had me on the floor, because in the back of my mind I was like, where did this whole I want to like you going back to from scratch. This nigga just woke up one day and said, I want to do X, Y, and Z, and I'm gonna be lie and fake it till I mean, like, now we see your brother is a VP. Your brother has a wife and kids. Your brother makes X amount of money. Got the house, the cars, the whatever in Nashville or somewhere outside of there. Now we see, okay, you want that lifestyle for you. But honestly, if you'd have put this much effort into the gift of gab that you have, you could have been somebody's marketing exec, because all of this outlandish fantasy thing you have would have been some great commercials for diamonds, purses, bags, luxury cars, all this shit. You could have spent that energy in a different direction and could have had what you was looking for. But you got the bright idea of, I'm going to go out here and lie to females and watch them get excited about a lifestyle I could never provide, but I'm still doing the bare minimum. But this bare minimum is more than they've ever experienced, so I'm still ahead. What the fuck?
Exactly. See what I'm saying? That be the whole point.
Yes, Goody. This man, I mean, not that I'm trying to break no HIPAA violations or nothing, but I guarantee you, somebody asked on his live when he went on TikTok talking about why he go to rehab. He gonna talk about he was there, it went to go support a friend. No, nigga, you should have checked in longer. You checked in because you need help. You checked in because you was tired of living in your car. I mean,
you needed a place to stay. You was hungry.
You know what I'm saying?
You needed someone around to lie to.
People out here, like we talked about the love scams. We talked about all this other shit. Like, there's people out here that really get off on seeing the excitement or emotions of all the shit that they promise, knowing damn good and well they can never produce. They can never deliver.
That's the psychotic part about this. Like, this man really does need help. He really does need to get him some help. And the way that it was all introduced, I understand. So it sounds like we talking like hella shit. But as a black woman to a black man, get you some help. Please, because if you just gonna come out here doing this to all of us black women like this, who don't have their own ball in the court to know better, such as Reesa, she you at a point in your life and you know where your victims are. If you are a predator of such, you know where your prey is. You know what I'm saying? So at this point, he can't do nothing but get some help for himself. And I'm glad she did expose him, because now we know who the fuck you is, what the fuck you look like, no matter what or who, unless you just stupid and want to be into something like this, then that's what you deserve in life. That's exactly what you deserve. You really do. Okay, so yeah, so and shout out to the realtors who did that. Realtor Amber, who really gave her the point, like, this ain't right. You could do this yourself. This, all that. Like, the whole thing with the realtors making up a whole entire one, another Scott, it was just way too much to deal with. So he said, It became a back and forth showing proof, so the sellers pulled out, and so did the realtor. She was upset and confused because she had the money and bills were always paid and they never lacked anything. So she didn't understand the issue. Around this time, she also found out he was talking to a woman on Facebook, and that's where the whole Chinny thing came in. So now you are actively looking for a house to share with this man, and now you don't found out that he cheating on you. That's messed up, because now you gotta wonder, okay, if I get this house with this man, do I gotta worry about this man bringing bitches back to my house? Do I gotta worry about this man bringing bitches back, period? Do I gotta worry about this man? You shouldn't even have to worry about this man at this point. So then so fast forward to 2022, she had the miscarriage. He wasn't there to support her for that. And she said out of all of the things, that was the one thing that bothered her the most. The fact that he was not there to support her when she was going through her miscarriage. Where it goes. He wasn't there to support her, and a friend from work was the one there for her. A friend from work. Come on. He claimed he had business meetings and couldn't miss. But what she later calculates is because he was not a VP, he was just on the he was just a whatchamacallit. So she figured he couldn't get off work. Because that's something you tell your boss in advance to let them know, look, at any given moment, I might have to leave. My wife is in labor. I'm going to have to go, whatever. But the fact that he probably couldn't get it off, that means he ain't even tell nobody.
Mm-hmm.
That just goes to show he didn't even tell nobody. So so he claimed he had business meetings he couldn't miss. Fast forward, his grandma passed and he was sad things started. And by now the relationship was completely over and she's over it. So then it's just, and so then when all came to said and done, what was the straw that broke the camel's back is when she found all of that information in that backpack. That was it. She found receipts from him having to do weekend jail time. Like, I know that's real. I have a family member who used to have to do that. I was like, dang, I forgot that existed. She opened up a memory file with that one. But you know, he had been on unemployment and everything. You know, she found out that that studio apartment he was living in, you know, he just let that go. But before that, he was on some other stuff, living with a friend, I believe. And so when she found out everything was a lie, on his birthday, she kicked this man out. She said, you gotta go. I know you ain't been to no arena football. You ain't been to California. You lied about this. And, you know, and some of the things she didn't even tell him. But it was enough to where he was like, you know what, you need to get up. And that's when she discovered the urine in the Gatorade bottles and all of that. And it was just, she made him throw that away himself. And then she figured out everything herself. But
I wouldn't touch it.
Hell no, but it was so symbolic, you know. So then he left, and that was all good and everything. And then time had passed, but then he starts harassing her again, talking about he wanna come home. You ready to come home? You ready to what? Come where? Come what? What home? What? I thought, you know, I figured there is no way this man ain't never touched drugs or alcohol, because you are clearly delusional and on something at this point in time to believe that you can call me and say, I want to come home. First of all, by then, I would have already changed my phone number. I don't care. I would have already changed my phone number. I probably wouldn't have been living at home unless I had to. I am not doing anything near this man. I'm getting everything changed, whatever. But he found his way, you know, to her some way, somehow. So after all,
he didn't borrow some money from somebody and showed up, and she didn't have to call the police. And
so then So then he needed some money finally. And she calls him and she calls her up and she's feeling some type of way. So she's like, whatever, all right. And she needs these papers signed and all that. So it's a win-win for her. But when he comes, like the police had told her, when he comes, call. So when he came, she wasn't there, and he had pulled up in the driveway and everything, blocking the garage so she can't get in. But little did he know she was in a whole new different car, and he wasn't expecting that. And so when she pulled up and she saw him, she called, and that's when they rolled up on him
Because he had a warrant.
because he had that warrant. Didn't know he had a warrant. She had no idea that man had been on probation before. She didn't know Jack. She didn't know Adam from Eve with this man. And so when they finally showed up, he looked, and by this time he is like a large, medium at this point. The man ain't showered since the last time she
Because
saw
remember,
him.
she said he stank when they met at the UPS store in Augusta to sign the divorce decree that she gave him $5 or $6 to get some cooking
And he was in them same clothes still.
And she put him out. And when she put him out, he was in the same clothes, living in his car, and he stank. She could tell he hadn't washed in days.
Yes, like, oh my goodness, can you just imagine? And if you in a nice house and you able to just put Gatorade and urine in a Gatorade bottle, I could have just imagined what was going on in that car.
But here's the crazy thing. Now, this what I'll say about most people who are in this on the crazy part of this situation. They usually know when the jig is up and they start to see other people or start laying the groundwork elsewhere so they can make a smooth transition. I don't think he knew this was coming because
No, he couldn't have.
He didn't have nowhere to go. He didn't have no money. He had to go to Philly telling lies. Then he left from Philly, went back to Augusta telling more lies. So he was very ill prepared. Because I can say from what I've known from my particular situation and some other niggas in the past, they usually lay in multiple groundwork to different women. And then that way, when one woman gets fed up, they can go over here and then they make the rotation until the one is unmanned and shit like that. He didn't see this coming because of the knee injury. Because had he seen it was coming, now granted he was frequenting the little prostitute or whatever, which I'm still pissed. You can get out of bed to go see a prostitute, but you can't get out of bed, go to work. But anywho, so had he been like at 100%, and some shit like this was going down, he would have seen it coming and he probably would have had another target lined up, which is sad because we know he had 3 wives and we don't know how many other targets he dated or interacted with. Because like you said in the beginning, there's other women coming out talking about how they had crossed paths with him at some time. And I'm anxious to see the type of women that didn't fall for the bullshit. And the one and compared to the ones that did.
Definitely. But I just wanted to put a face to some of this before we get out of here because we've been talking for over an hour and a half.
Well, I mean, it was 52 damn parts plus 13 parts of Alive, plus we had Legion's stepson and the first ex-wife, all day parts. This is fucking better than The Bold and the Beautiful.
That's what I'm saying. So we still didn't get to everything I wanted to. So
I mean, we can still keep going. I ain't got nothing but time.
No, girl, no, Feud is on. Shit, I gotta watch Feud. I gotta watch the finale.
You can watch it on Hulu tomorrow.
Look, I don't have that much time like you do afterwards. When I come home, I gotta come straight to this. I gotta watch it so I can do the live for tomorrow.
You can watch it on Hulu tomorrow while you at work.
No, I can't. I won't be able to tomorrow because I'm down in the main lobby. I'm stuck.
Okay, ma'am. Because we ain't even got the Porscha and Simon.
I know. Look, that's what I'm saying. We don't stay on topic. When we go advert, it's gonna take longer. But we didn't
but to be honest, this bullshit, I mean, it was 52 10-minute episodes. So let me break this down. Hold on, let me get my calculator out so my math will be mathing. Okay.
No,
So
because we can do a part 2 tomorrow with
hold
that.
on. I'm just saying, hold on.
I got to watch
We
that
got
show.
52
It's
episodes
midnight.
times 10 minutes.
It's midnight over
That's
here.
520 minutes divided by 60. That is 8.6666667 hours. That's a whole fucking shift. We to cover this shit in this damn near 9 hours worth of shit. It gonna take 2 hours to cover this shit.
Right. So we'll come back tomorrow we'll do more of this with Capote. I know we were supposed to do Capote by itself, but we gotta talk more about this. But I just wanted to show this man what we are dealing with.
Love and relationships, things you should do and shouldn't do all day, posting it. Number one thing today we're gonna talk about first, shouldn't do in a relationship or should do. Don't be afraid to text your partner in the morning, tell them good morning, tell them you love them, even though you just told them that when you left the house. Don't be afraid to tell them so. Text them and say good morning, what's up? You know what I'm saying? How's your day going? Especially if you don't live with the person or something like that, that kind of brightens up their day. You know what I'm saying? Just to hear from you. That's tip 1 from your boy. Stay tuned for tip 2, tip 3. We're gonna do these all day. Relationship talk. Let's do it. Today we doing relationships.
This man, and all he did was tell you how to love bomb. That's love bombing. You already told me. Why do you need to text it to me? I don't need all of that in my life. I really, really don't. So he just did the most. But also it was the where's the wife? Oh my goodness, this part. Let me do this part.
Marriage counseling didn't work and we broke up. But my message to her is please stop lying to these people, and you can tell them the real reason I left you. You cheated. I caught you in the house with Bradley, and we went to marriage counseling, didn't work, and we broke up.
Now tomorrow we will show Bradley, because the Bradley, baby, why would you even say that? Ain't nobody checking for Bradley. I'm sorry, Bradley, but ain't nobody checking for Bradley. Not Bradley in that gold suit. You know, it was not happening. So yeah, we will be back with part 2 of Who the Fuck Did I Marry, along with Feud season 2, Capote versus the Swine. But at this time, y'all, it is almost midnight, and I need to watch the finale of the challenge, and I need to watch Capote, so we can be here jolly and jipper and talk about these things tomorrow night, 10 o'clock, 9 Central Time. We will be back. Okay. So make sure you tune in. And yes, and who knows, we'll probably have more developments to even add on to this, because this is by far from over. And as a matter of fact, shout out, because am I going frontwards or backwards? Yeah, I'm going backwards. Shout out to Reesa, because she is finally going to this is the wife, but we'll save that for tomorrow. The first wife. But she is finally going
of why I'm kidding. Don't worry. But guess what, guys? I'm going to London and Paris. I'm so excited. It is official. I get to go to London and Paris, the 2 cities I have been wanting to go to since I was in high school. And you guys, I'm going to make the most of this trip. I want to see Westminster Abbey. I want to see the Tower of London. I want to see Buckingham Palace. What up, Charles? I'm trying to see it all. Then I'm trying to catch a flight over to Paris, or should I take a train?
So I am so happy for her. She is finally going, and I hope after she is back, or maybe, fuck it, buy her that BMW that she wants in Paris and have that bitch brought back with you.
Cognac interior.
With the cognac interior. Don't you forget it, okay? Okay. So yes, so there is way too much more for us to discuss. So we will definitely be back with part 2 tomorrow along with you. And on that note, y'all, thanks for watching. It was a good time. It always is, and we out.